friends, how are you? I am doing so great, especially because today's topic is all about yoga and breathing. Well, we know we have to breathe, but how many of us just kind of forget to breathe, right? Life is so busy, and when do you have time to really think about your breath? Yet it's the most important thing we should be thinking about every day. And because of that, this is our topic, and I have with me my friend who is an expert in this topic. I go to her yoga classes and just love all the philosophy of yoga and the importance of not only what we learn during those classes, but how to apply it to our everyday life. So I'm here with Sudha Balagopal. She's a yoga teacher and practitioner. Her 9 years of teaching experience have brought the benefits of yoga to all kinds of groups, from college students to retirees. And I love it because she teaches different styles, from those of you who are more familiar of fast-paced vinyasa, the slow burn that's more moderate, all kinds of levels, and even conducts all kinds of workshops. She does a great one for Valentine's Day, a partner yoga. You don't need to have a couple, right? You can go with a friend. A yoga ball rolling, I've done that one, and that's really beneficial. And well, yin, that's one of my favorites. Besides that, Sudha is a published author of 3 books of fiction, A New Dawn, There Are 7 Notes, and Missing and Other Short Stories. If you guys want to contact her, you can reach her at her website, www.sudhabalagopal.com. That's her full name. So Sudha, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
And Sudha, well, you know how I love your classes, especially going to those yin, classes where we breathe, we pay attention to our breath, we stretch a lot. So tell me, why has yoga become so popular? I mean, the last, 20 years or so, right?
I think people just discovered how good yoga is for them, and they needed to de-stress. And they found that yoga was helping them to de-stress, and that's why it became so popular. It's really almost like a movement now.
It is, right? And like you say, there's so many different types of yoga, right? And you yourself have taught and teach different styles. So for someone who has no idea what to do, how does a person begin with yoga? How do they decide where to go, what to do?
I would recommend trying a simple yoga class first, because you don't want to get intimidated, because yoga is also along a spectrum, if you will. There are people who've been practicing for many years, and they're very skilled, and you don't want to feel discouraged when you go to a class when everybody looks as if they know what they're doing, or if it's very crowded where the teacher doesn't have, unfortunately, the time to give to you. Right. So I would recommend looking around. There's a yoga class for every level. Anywhere you are in this country now, I think there is a yoga class for every level. So find a class where you would be welcome as a beginner, and you go meet the teacher first and tell her you're a beginner. And most yoga teachers are very kind. They're very helpful. They will help you in the poses. You may not even know the name of a pose, but they'll help you to tell you what it is, what it should look like. So yes, there is always an option for you if you're a beginner.
And Sudha, like you say, you mentioned a little bit later, we feel intimidated, and our society makes us very competitive, right? So those poses, like you say, and I look next to the person next to me, and they can, twist and turn and do all this stuff, and I'm like stuck there and I can't. Why is that, and how do we overcome that in a yoga class?
The first thing we have to learn about yoga is that yoga is a journey, not a destination. This is not a competition. What makes yoga different from any other kind of physical exercise is that there's really no goal. That's why we call it a yoga practice. We do not call it a yoga marathon or a yoga race. It's a yoga practice. It means everybody works at their level, and it's an evolving practice, and there's really no end goal. There's no certificate. There's no award. So you just keep trying. It is mostly an internal journey and not an external journey.
And that's why you always say, which I love, and I love that expression so much that I even use it in my own website, that the breath is the bridge between our mind and body, right?
Exactly.
Let's see.
So,
tell us.
So the breath is called the prana. It's the life force, if you want to translate it from the Sanskrit, which is the language of yoga. So we breathe 22,000 times or something like that every day.
Wow.
And we don't pay attention to our breath. It's with us. It's our constant companion from the time we're born. We do not pay attention to our breath. The magical thing about yoga is it teaches you how to breathe. We always say, more than anything else, a yoga class is a breathing class. So if you learn to pay attention to your breath, you will recognize when you are stressed. You will recognize when you need to calm down. You will recognize that as you watch that breath and pay attention to it, it will respond and calm you down. That is the magic of yoga.
Right. That makes so much sense. Yet I know this happens to me and to so many people, like we're in yoga, students telling us, breathe, go back to your breath. And our mind are those little wheels that spin and okay, what am I going to do next? My to-do list. I have to do this, wash the dishes, make food, pick up the kids, whatever it might be. Why is it so difficult? What's going on in our mind?
Our minds are always active. They say that in yoga. That is the nature of the mind. If you look at the definition of yoga according to this book called the Yoga Sutras, which was a book that was written about 250 BC. It's a very, very ancient book. It's a very, very old book. But even then, people knew what the nature of the mind is. So what did they say? They didn't say yoga is about poses. They didn't say yoga is about standing on your head. What the definition of yoga in that book is, yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind, which means they recognize that the mind has a tendency to fluctuate. It goes up and it goes down and it goes round and it goes in every direction.
Right. Don't you always say it's like a monkey?
It is like a monkey.
Right.
So that is something that we all share as human beings. So the yoga practice, you will find, will allow you to acknowledge this, first of all, that it's a fact. This is how we are, that we have, constantly churning minds. And with the use of the breath, you'll find that the mind calms down. And that is the goal of yoga. That really helps you to calm down. I can see it in a class. When I'm in a yin class, I can feel the tension in everybody's body. And about 20 minutes into the class, I can feel the letting go.
Wow.
I can feel the stress dropping. Because people are finally saying, let it go. Let me get into my pose. Let me breathe through this.
That's so
I can feel it.
So you feel it in the.
I can feel
the energy.
Tension.
Something. The tension is.
Yes.
So what happens, Sudha, for people who are so stressed or have so much anxiety or depression or so many things that they can't stay still, right? They have such a difficult time in life, every day staying still, right? How can yoga really help?
Absolutely,
these people?
It's been documented. Its research has been documented. So many places that they've done research that yoga really helps with depression. Yoga helps people to calm down. So that is the number one benefit of yoga, that it will help people to calm down. It's not as if the problems are going to go away. We all have to deal with problems. It's not as if our mind is not going to be preoccupied with problems, because they are there. What changes is the way you look at it, how you deal with the issues. And that is, again, the magic of yoga. You just switch things up. Everybody has issues. We all have to deal with them.
Right. So what you're saying, Sudha, exactly. We'll all have the problems they are, but maybe we have with that breathing technique, with calming the mind. If the mind is calmer, we can maybe find solutions or look at life, the same problem in a different light.
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly.
Right. So we're not stagnant or running around in circles with the same health problem, personal, work problem, family issue.
Yeah, again, in the same book, in the Yoga Sutras, they have said that when the mind is calm, you are able to look at a problem differently than you would look at it if your mind is all confused. I mean, that makes logical sense. If you calm down, obviously the thing you're looking at changes because you are looking at it differently.
Right, a different perspective, right? Kind of like when you look at a work of art or a painting, right? If you're running through the museum,
you don't get
have to, right? But if you're looking at that picture for a while, right? And from different angles, so kind of you're looking from different perspectives instead of going around in wheels and wheels. And Sudha, I know how you always tell us that it's not only, some people say, I go to yoga 3 times a week, I'm a good student. But the main thing is, what you do the rest of the day, the rest of the week. How does that really apply? Because we get out of our yoga class feeling all so happy, and out there we've got traffic, we got problems, and we're back to our everyday world. How do we apply yoga?
Well, what they say, and I think it's very true, is that the lessons learned in a yoga class translate to your real life. And it's not something you do consciously. It happens quite without your knowledge, which is, again, the magical part of yoga. We learn a few things in class, and it's not as if I'm going to say, okay, I learned how to be patient in my class. This pose is going to take 5 minutes. I have to be patient. It's not as if you go out and say, I have to remember my yoga class. But it happens quite automatically without your knowledge, where you learn the skills of patience. So we throw things at you in class. We make things a little bit difficult. So you learn how to deal with it when it is presented to you in a different way outside of the class.
So kind of challenges on the mat, and that kind of, we can take it outside to everyday world with whatever kind of issues we're having.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Sudha, some last words of tidbits, right? Of wisdom or tidbits to that beginner that's still a little hesitant. I know you said, look at the classes, try out, maybe you bond with an instructor, but for that anxious person, what would be the first thing you would recommend?
I would recommend a yin class for an anxious person. Or a restorative class. A restorative class is typically for somebody who's recovering for an injury, and the teacher will be able to help you use props and things. A yin class is also because of the long holding poses where you're focusing on the breath to calm you down. I would recommend it. Now, if you feel that it's impossible for you to stay still in a yin class, then take a beginner yoga or an all levels yoga class. And remember, there is no such thing as a perfect pose. There is no such thing as a perfect yogi. Everybody's learning. So you have to let go of your ego, which is the biggest thing that's coming in your way. Just go to a class and try it. And keep going back. Don't give up after the first time. Keep going back.
Because that's what happens, right? Many times,
you have
like
to go
with
back.
anything in life, we try till you succeed, right? Instead of
there is no
giving
such
up
thing as a success. See, this
either,
is the thing,
right? True.
So you just have to go and focus on what you feel like at the end of a class, and I can guarantee you, it will make you feel good.
Right. Oh, that's so interesting, Sudha. Well, I know we can talk forever because we're both very passionate about this, and you're so knowledgeable. I'm in this whole process of learning, and I speak for those who are very stressful and anxious like I am, type A personality. So I hope you guys have learned something. Go ahead and try yoga. And well, Sudha, thank you so much once again for participating in our program.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
And for all of you friends out there, wishing you a day filled with peace, health, happiness, and lots of love. Till next time, bye.